What's it like to be a transgender woman in a Texas prison? By November 2013, Passion Star had already faced a decade's worth of sexual assaults and death threats from other inmates when she began pleading with prison officials at TDCJ's Youth Unit to put her in what's called safekeeping, a classification category for offenders identified as being more vulnerable than the average general population offender. Under TDCJ's Safe Prisons Plan, such vulnerable inmates, rather than being punished with solitary confinement or isolation, are housed separately but afforded the same programming and privileges as the rest of the prison's population. If anyone ever qualified for safekeeping status, you'd think it would be Passion Star. Born Joshua Zalikofer, Star is one of an untold number of transgendered women/men and locked up in a men's prison across our country. And in TDCJ's own Safe Prisons Plan, guards are told that LGBT status should be given serious consideration when determining where to house an inmate and whether they're at an increased risk of sexual assault. However, not only did prison guards ignore Star's repeat requests for protection and deny the litany of grievances she filed contesting her housing assignment, their cold ambivalence made Star easy pickings inside. According to court records, Star filed an emergency request at Hughes on November 19, 2013, begging for prison officials to switch her housing assignment. In her request, Star wrote that she was in constant threat of being hurt because of a gang member she calls JT routinely threatened to attack her if she would not have sex with him. He told me that refusal was not an option and that since I was gay, I had to stay in a hoe's place. His exact words. Prison officials, however, wouldn't act, and the next morning, JT and other gang members jumped Star from behind as she headed to breakfast. Calling her a snitching F-word, the man proceeded to slash Star's face with a razor blade, sending her to the prison infirmary. 2 days later, prison officials denied Star's emergency appeal with this. The committee did not find sufficient evidence to support your allegations or to send you to safekeeping. Star, then 31, has been in TDC since 2003, when she was sentenced to 20 years in prison for aggravated kidnapping. In an affidavit in prison records she filed in court earlier this year, Star describes the hellish years-long ordeal she's faced as a transgender woman in prison. She was first sent to the Telford unit in New Boston, where a gang member forced her to have sex in exchange for protection. Star claims the inmate choked her whenever she tried to end the relationship. In 2006, Star was transferred to the All Red unit in Iowa Park, Texas, where her cellmate threatened her with a knife, held her down, and raped her. Star says that prison staff took no action when she reported it and even put her in the back of the cell with the same rapist. The cellmate threw a fan motor at Star, causing a giant gash in her head, what she found out that had not been reported. Over the next few years, Star was transferred to 2 other TDCJ units, where she begged prison staff to put her in safekeeping because inmates routinely forced her to have sex. When Star tried to cut off the relationship with one inmate, he punched her in the jaw, breaking one of her teeth and punctuating her lip, Star says in her affidavit. In 2011, Star landed at the Hughes unit in Gatesville, Texas. When she told one prison guard that a gang member regularly called me a F-word, attacked me, punched me in my head, face, and torso, the guard, instead of taking the complaint seriously, called me a snitch and a punk in front of the other inmates during the lineup. She says other officers routinely pretended to grab her ass as she walked through the cell block. They called it the grab ass game. By 2013, the threats had reached a fever pitch. Star says one gang member attacked her in the prison church, again sending her to the infirmary. After JT attacked Star's face with a razor blade in November 2013, she was moved to Robertson Unit in Abilene. Where prison officials then again just put her in general population. When Star tried to report the incident to an officer, he told her to stop sucking dick, fight, or quit doing gay shit. But either way, we're not gonna help. He was very clear that he cared nothing about her. Lambda Legal took up Starr's case last year as part of its broader fight to make sure LGBT inmates are covered by the protection of the PREA Act. Soon after Starr arrived at Clemens Unit, one inmate told her she'd be murdered if she didn't stop filing complaints about sexual harassment and sexual abuse. Last month, Starr's attorney filed an emergency order asking the federal court to force TDCJ to put Starr in safekeeping. After all these incidents, complaints, they still would not put her in safekeeping. They left her in general population. Here's a statement Starr's lawyer Humphrey issued after TDC finally agreed to put her in safekeeping. This is a tremendous relief for our client who has been fighting for years for protection from horrific sexual and physical violence and constant threats. At least Texas officials have taken appropriate and long overdue steps to protect Starr. We asked TDCJ spokesman Jason Clark why it took over 10 years, multiple rapes and assaults and lockups, and months of legal action to finally put Starr in safekeeping. This was his answer. I cannot address Starr's situation specifically because there's a pending lawsuit. The well-being of offenders is top priority of our agency. We are committed to the safety of those confined within TDCJ. This program is in operation at all TDCJ correctional facilities. We are not sure why Starr was unable to join. Clark says that as of March 31st, 2015, the day after TDCJ put Starr in protective housing, that there were 1,569 TDCJ inmates in safekeeping. And she literally had to go through all of that. Unbelievable. Texas is not your place if you want to be an LGBT. Starr actually also hit him with the lawsuit and won. Check this out. Lambda Legal filed a federal lawsuit on behalf of Passion Starr. And successful outcome. So literally it took over 10 years, multiple rapes, stabbings, slashings, robbings, 1 million complaints, lawsuits, and everything else just to get a person in Texas put in protective custody. That's how hard it is in Texas. If you think you're going to go to prison here and be protected, you better be ready to protect yourself.